All right, so welcome to another stock spotlight. In today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Nvidia, starting to bounce a little bit today. The market is kind of holding a little stable. So the question is Nvidia's downturn over? Is that down move going to end? Because if we take a look at kind of this stock, it has been selling off quite a bit, and back around 480, we got down into about a $400 mark. So about a 75-point sell-off here on that down move. So the question is this sell-off over? There's a lot to take into this. As we take a look at a lot of other companies, they're also doing quite well today. So it could be just the day itself. So one day doesn't really make a trend. But what you also have to take into account is we do have earnings coming up on Nvidia. So that is 8/23. So watch out for that. That can really push that stock higher or lower. In the same way that it pushed it higher, it could push that stock lower. So you have to be very careful around that earnings time frame. If we look on the, let's go to a 3-day. The reason I'm doing a 3-day is just to compress some of these things, pricing, so I can show you still the gap. If I do a weekly, it won't show it. So we still have this gap here that's underlying. And I think this stock coming back to about 360 would be healthy. A pullback, a retracement, that kind of thing is healthy for the stock. If you don't get pullbacks and you continue to running up too fast, too quick, you can get a nasty movement like an AMC where the run is too quick and then you sell back off fairly rapidly. So be careful with these kinds of things. Overall, I think when we come back to these support levels, and you're looking at moving averages, it's still within line, within the trend, and it's looking fine and healthy. There's nothing that's stating, hey, this is a massive, nasty sell-off. In fact, if you actually look at the overall trend over the last two little points or dots around October 2022 and January 2023, you're actually still way above it. So a pullback even further could still be healthy, and that could still continue that move. If you look at the next level of trend line, so let's put this one up and then we'll switch it to the next level of trend. Here, we're starting to get a little accelerated, and this is where trend lines can break, and that could be a bad time. So you need to be a little bit more mindful here that if we're breaking this level, it could continue to pull back down. Now, another key point and trend to kind of watch out for is look at these swing highs in the past. That also brings us back to 330. Around that level. So if we look at this level here and we draw it out, look at this. It's right in line with this gap level. Okay. So when you start actually looking at it, it's very close. Now, it's not perfect, but it's close in line because there's also that confluence. That happens because nothing hits it at perfect levels. So be careful at this spot. I mean, the stock is holding up well. There's a lot of bullishness behind it, but I will show you that there is a little bit of profit taking here on these bearish signs that have been coming in, and a little bit of dumping on those shares. And let me go to this daily here, stretch it out, and take a look. Take a look at these bearish bars that are starting to pick up, which means some people do think it's a little overextended, and they might say, hey, you know what, it's the time to sell. But the reality is right now the stock is still on a long-term trend, holding up okay. What I would do is continue to watch that volume, watch how it's behaving, and if more selling pressure picks up, that's where you could say, hey, you know what, it may roll over. But for the time being, stock is still healthy. Watch those earnings coming up because you've got to watch out for that spotlight. Otherwise, it's going to, could tank on those earnings, or it could power higher again. So be careful, be mindful there. And other than that, I think stock's doing all right for the time being. One day doesn't make a trend. But it is holding these some of these support levels for the time being. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. Truly appreciate it. Feel free to check out some of our webinars at tradingwebinars.co, or take a look at some of our websites, and then you can take a look and grab more knowledge and insight about trading options or just overall learning to trade better. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.